Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, podcast we discuss all things Usmnt y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian, joining me once again my co-host Tocayo Adrian. Hey, what's going on, man? How are you, bro?
Hey, how's it going, man? It's going all right. I'm not too sure I like these Monday night Nations League matches, to be honest with you.
You're gonna like the Tuesday night more tomorrow?
Yeah,
The
we'll
weekend
see.
ones are always a lot better.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like when we had the Liga MX games, the doble jornada, and they would play like
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's kind of annoying when they're late. But we're here to talk about a reaction to USMNT versus Jamaica, both legs. We're going to focus ideally, or obviously, more on the second game, the more exciting of the matches, and the one where more happened. But just a quick recap here: USA played Jamaica on November 14th in Jamaica. In the National Stadium Independence Park there in Jamaica, winning 1-0 with Ricardo Pepi goal in the 5th minute. Mason Holgate got a red card in the 86th minute. And it was a pretty even game, I'd say, in terms of shots. I mean, Jamaica had double the shots, but only 2 went on target for them, 3 went on target for the USMNT. 40% possession for Jamaica, 60% possession for the USMNT. The big things, Adrian, here, the big talking points for me at least were the condition of the field, a very, very sorry field. Luckily, nobody really got injured or hurt there. And Pochettino gets an important away win in CONCACAF, something we saw that Triple G struggled with, and the USMNT has struggled with a long time, getting away wins and getting results in CONCACAF.
Yeah, that's perhaps pretty much all the big points that we can, or the big takeaways that we can grab from that specific match, because it was boring. You know, we get it. It's a CONCACAF match. It wasn't expected to be super stellar, right? But I felt that maybe this is on us on expecting way more from Jamaica than we normally do, and they always are stellar at disappointment. Um,
Yeah, like we mentioned,
yeah,
they haven't taken that last hump, right, to make it to the top dogs
uh-huh.
of the region.
And that just seems to be their story of their life, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, I think the USMNT went out there to do what they needed to do, which was to win the match, regardless of the score. Right? They just needed to win the match to bring home the advantage of the away goal, and they did. So no injuries, tough conditions out there, and it's nice to see that they can now do trips to the Caribbean and come back unscathed.
yeah. And quickly, Pochettino played a 4-2-3-1 there with Matt Turner in the back. The back four were Anthony Robinson on the left back, Scally on the right back. Center backs were Tim Ream, Mark McKenzie. Fan of Mark McKenzie playing. I think he had a good window in the back, or in the two in the contención in the center there were Tesman and Cardoso. Up front were Pulisic to the left, Musa to the right, McKennie in the middle, and Pepe playing the lone forward there. And yeah, moving on to the next match, just going to give the lineup again. He played a 4-2-3-1 again, and the real only big difference, Adrian, was instead of Cardoso, we got to see Tesman start against Jamaica in the second match. But yeah, so the second match, much more, I guess, exciting of a match. I think
Mhm.
it lived up to the hype. And something interesting that I thought, Adrian, was both matches suffered with field conditions. The Jamaica one
Yeah,
due to poor field, and this one due to
right.
massive rain.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, right? Because it's nice to see that the USMNT plays well. They've been doing it for a while, but it's always nice to see them play on a pitch or a stadium that is meant for soccer. We're long away from having or seeing them play at the Arrowhead Stadium or an NFL stadium, right? So that's always nice. It's unfortunate that the conditions of the weather didn't necessarily help them, but it didn't seem like they affected them, right? Because they come out guns blazing.
Yeah, came out, got the win, ended up winning 5-2 on aggregate, won this match, the second match here on November 18th, 4-2. Goal scorers were Christian Pulisic in the 13th minute and a lucky deflective goal in the 33rd minute, Ricardo Pepi in the 42nd minute, and a golazo by Timothy Way in the 56th minute, while Demarai Gray scored in the 53rd and the 68th minute for Jamaica. A quick note for Jamaica, they were missing 2 players, Michael Antonio and Kahim Dixon, who did not travel to the United States for the Monday match due to losing their passports, man.
Are you
I mean,
kidding me?
how does
For
that
real?
happen? Yeah, they lost their passports and were not able to get in. And apparently, I think one of them or both of them have UK passports, but
Uh-huh.
the FIFA reglamentos, the FIFA rules state that you have to have the passport of the country you're representing to when you're
Come
playing
on,
for them.
man.
So they couldn't get into the United States. But I don't think they would have made a big difference. Ultimately, the
No.
USMNT ended up winning 4-2. And yeah, let's start off with Pulisic with that first goal and assist from Weston McKennie, and a really good goal from Pulisic there, and giving Andre Blake no chance. And like we said, the second goal was deflection. Pulisic, the youngest USMNT player to 50 goal contributions. Good stat for him.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this is another proof of him being the best USMNT player ever, as we mentioned on one of our previous episodes, right? I think this is just another testament of how good he is and how great of a season he's having. Well, not season, a year he's having, not only at club level but also with the USMNT, of course, with the small caveat of the Copa America, right? Because that wasn't necessarily great for anyone. But with that, leaving that aside, I think this 2024 has been super grateful and great for Christian Pulisic.
And somebody else that had a really great window here, Adrian, Ricardo Pepi. We
Yeah,
talked at length in our preview episode, Adrian, if you remember. It was his time to shine. He had to grab the horns and run with it because this was his opportunity. No Balogun, no Sargent, no Hajiwright. It was him and Brandon Vasquez, right? So
Vasquez.
we saw
Yeah.
him start Pepe, and he got a goal in the 5th minute in the first leg, and he got a really good goal here in this one as well.
Hmm.
And I think he's got to be playing with more confidence. Now we know he came into this camp playing with confidence, PSV scoring, and now even more so knowing that hey, maybe the USMNT spot, at least for now, is mine.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he needs to keep on pushing for that specific big. Well, not for that specific statement, but also keep on pushing for these key moments, these specific matches where he can prove that he is the missing piece of that front in the USMNT squad. I think it's nice to see that he is ready for the challenge, that he's prepared himself to stand up and deliver a good performance when needed. I think we all knew that he could be the clutch player for the USMNT, even when he got called up back in 2022 by Triple G. It's just a matter of him keeping up this great level, because I think no matter it's just a matter of time for him to be the starter not only at the USMNT but also at the club level with PSV.
Yeah, and someone else that I think you mentioned him keeping up this level and taking advantage. Someone that didn't take advantage, granted he had a little bit of time. One of the few negatives I think of this window was Brandon Vasquez,
My
somebody
God.
who is playing hardly playing for Monterrey. And when he does play, he plays bad. He had a goal that I can't remember if they called it offside or not, but he missed it. Right, he was just one on one with the keeper here at the end of that Jamaica match, the second leg, and he's somebody who just can't catch a break. He looked lost when he got in there for the last 10, 15 minutes, and yeah, I think he's one of those that has probably worked his way down the pecking order for the USMNT.
Yeah. Again, he's just lucky that all of the other ones were injured, right? Sargent, Balogun, Hajiwright, all the names you mentioned, and that's the whole reason why he's here.
Yeah.
Even when we had our roster reaction, we even asked or we acknowledged the fact that this is the only reason why he is getting called up, because it isn't that he's having a great strike with Monterrey, and it's really unfortunate for him, because I think you and I even last year. We mentioned that he should be taken in consideration on that pecking order just because of how good he played with Sin City, and the fact that he was having a move to Liga MX with a club like Monterrey.
And he
Was
started well
playing
with Monterrey.
exactly, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this is just him getting into his head, maybe thinking too much about things and how he's having a bad time in Monterrey. I really hope that he turns things around, he gets things figured out, because I still believe that he could be a very interesting piece of this puzzle for the USMNT, as he presents to be one of the strongest, and I mean physically, right? Not
Yeah.
necessarily performance wise, strongest nines that are out there available for Pochettino.
Yeah. I think somebody that was also a key factor for this win here, the 4-2, and ultimately for both legs, Tim Weah. It was good to see him back. He was one of the players that Pochettino did not have available for his first window, right? So having him back, he scored a really, really good goal from a pass from Musa. He's also somebody that's been playing well for Juventus coming into this camp, and you could see him be rewarded there. So Tim Weah got on the score sheet, and it's nice to see him back in camp. But Adrian, the big thing I want to bring to your attention, I know you noticed it as well. I think slowly we're starting to see the Pochettinoisms getting brought into the lineup.
Hmm.
Every 50-50 ball we saw the USMNT battling for and winning most of them.
Hmm.
They were pressing every single chance they had on Jamaica players throughout the whole match. Even the subs that came in, it was constant pressing from the USMNT players. That was a huge difference from what we would see under Triple G, where they would lay back often. Here was that constant press, that constant what do you call it? The intensity. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I don't know. I think Pochettino's asking for these players to give that 110%, and I think we saw them do that today.
And I don't think it's only him asking them to do so. I think he's just the fact that he comes with a different pedigree like Triple G did, right? Again, I don't really have anything against Triple G or anything personal with him, but it is a fact that Pochettino has a way stronger background and understanding of the contemporary strategies of football. And I just think that the players are realizing that this is a coach that gets the level of intensity that they require to play. Right, he understands because he's been there. He's been coaching at the highest level. He's been coaching against teams that have way more pressure. Abilities, way more intensity, way more physical prowess than what you can see in CONCACAF or maybe on at the international level. And so I think this is the moment where we all kept on saying that this golden generation needed a coach that was at their level because we think that this generation can do great things. And I believe Pochettino is rising above that specific threshold.
Yeah, and I think we noticed it with the reactions once they went down, or once not didn't go down, but once they received a goal, they quickly went back and scored again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that mentality, right? That never let up mentality, and I think that's we mentioned the negative of Brendan Vazquez. I think that's the only other negative I could think from this. They weren't able to keep that clean sheet. They were
Yeah.
dominant the whole second leg, completely dominant. They're going to be angry with themselves for letting 2 goals in. The first goal, granted, Matt Turner couldn't have done anything. The second goal, Matt Turner, I think, is going to be kicking himself for deflecting the ball straight into the path of the Jamaican player. So
Mm-hmm.
Matt Turner is somebody that I have here on my show notes that I wanted to bring up. Still, Pochettino's goalie choice is as cloudy as ever. Matt Turner did well the first match. He blocked that penalty. The second match, he was having some decent saves here and there. But like I said, the second goal for Jamaica, he could have done a lot
Mm-hmm.
better. So I think he had an okay window, but I don't think he made it easier for Pochettino or solved his problem, right?
Yeah, and I think that's gonna. Well, I agree with you. That's still gonna be the biggest question mark for Pochettino in the near future. Even if Matt Turner is able to have outstanding camps with the USMNT because he's not necessarily playing every single weekend with Crystal Palace. It's not. I don't think it's going to be enough for Pochettino to feel good about the decision of playing Matt Turner. Right. I believe that he even said it on the press conference before the match that I think someone asked him, "Hey, has any of the players asked you about if they should remain at the MLS level?" And is that enough for them to be considered for the USMNT? And he mentioned, I mean, he didn't specifically said that it was something against them for playing at the MLS, but he just used Messi as an example, right? Saying, hey, Messi plays at the MLS and he still performs or outshines anyone in the Argentinian national team. So basically saying like, hey, even if you play in the MLS, you are still it's still competitive enough for you to be
You're
considered
still in
part of
contention. Yeah.
exactly to be in contention. So I think the Zach Steffens of the world, the freaking what's the name of the Columbus Crew goalkeeper?
Schulte.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't give up, even though they're like Schulte's out of the MLS Cup, but he shouldn't give up on the opportunity of maybe being the number one choice for the USMNT goalie position, at least not between the end of this year and 2025, because we
Oh
don't
yeah,
know what
none of the
2025
goalies.
departs for. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all still in it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just that type of I guess roster that the USMNT has right now. They don't have a clear cut winner, a
Hmm.
goalie. But it was a clear cut win here for the USMNT, winning 5-2 against Jamaica on aggregate, advanced in the Nations League quarterfinals to the semis now. So USMNT again wanting to quadruple Pete. I don't know how you say that, four Pete, the Nations League. So we'll see how that happens and how that goes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Adrian, November 19th, Mexico tries to do a remontada against Honduras after losing 2-0 over there in San
Once
Pedro
again.
Sula. Yeah, and same story from last year, right?
Hmm.
Lost in Honduras 2-0
To
and
nail.
had to turn it over there in La Azteca, turn it around. Tomorrow they'll be playing in Toluca. So we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll be keeping it here, an eye on it on here at PPG Goal and giving our reactions after that match as well. So keep it here with PPG. The man, let's wrap up this episode, brother. What can listeners find us, dude?
They can always find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. You can also find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast on. Last but not least, you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok. We post memes, latest news, and shorts of our episodes.
Yeah, so be sure to follow us on your preferred social media platform of choice and let us know in the comments below what are your thoughts on these two matches for the Usmnt versus Jamaica. Specifically, the second match, we want to see what your takeaways were. Who did you think stood out? Who did you think was, had a negative camp? What did you think of this USMNT result? Definitely let us know in the comments below. And be sure to follow us and subscribe here on YouTube if you aren't subscribed yet. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. We're hoping to get there soon. So help us get to that huge milestone for us. We really appreciate it. Adrian, good episode.
Hmm.
See you in the next one, brother.
Take it easy.
See ya.
Deuce.